everyone, welcome to Ataccama Innovate 2023, the future of data quality. My name is Celine Dupuis, and I'm excited to welcome you to today's event. Businesses run on data, and for the past 15 years, we've helped clients with their data management strategies. We see them do amazing things with data quality, making their data management accessible and instantly useful. Recently, data people have been buzzing about data observability, and it's gradually becoming the new standard for data quality monitoring. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. Stay with us to see that data quality is an AI-powered, unified, end-to-end experience available to everyone. During today's event, you can ask questions and add your comments in the Q&A tab on the right side of your screen. With that, let's turn things over to David and Lenka to dive deeper into the future of data quality. Over to you, David.
Back in 2007, Ataccama started its mission to provide high-quality data to everyone. Our goal is to enable people within organizations to have access to high-quality data. We want to make sure that the issues companies are having with data, such as duplicate records, invalid addresses or contact details, metrics calculated on top of incorrect data, all of those things should be addressed. And the high-quality data should be enabled for people. It really is about the high quality. That's the most important part of the vision statement. It was always our main focus and always will be. In order to truly excel in data quality discipline, companies have to focus on multiple areas, and it's fairly complex. They have to start with documenting all the assets they have available, defining the metrics they want to focus on. Once they do so, they have to apply it. So they need to set up some monitoring in order to understand the quality of the data. Once you understand the quality and you identify the issues, you continue with improving the quality of the data, addressing all those issues. You have to do all of this in some governed way, so you have full visibility and transparency into what is happening. And obviously, if you want to improve your state in the future, you also have to focus on prevention. And this is where Ataccama comes in, and this is what we will talk about today, covering the whole data quality lifecycle. There are multiple ways how you can approach it. You can look for single-purpose solutions on the market that help you with specific segments of the data quality lifecycle, such as defining the metrics or setting up data observability. But you have to integrate all those single-purpose tools together so you can provide some unified platform for the end users. And this is really costly. This is really costly not only on the licenses side, but mainly on the maintenance side, on the people side. You need a lot of people from your team that will set up the integration, that will maintain the integration over time, and that will just make sure everything works. It is a really costly solution that's actually distracting you from focusing on your core business. Also, the user experience is really affected by the fact that you have multiple tools integrated, designed with a different mindset, and using a different technology. So this solution really has a lot of side effects that Ataccama wants to address. This is where Ataccama One comes in. Our goal really is to have one unified platform that can cover the whole data quality lifecycle, from the documentation, understanding, improvement, with the governance in place, and also with measures that can help you prevent the issues. Let's take a look at the first part of the cycle, understand, improve, and govern. There is no end-to-end solution on the market that can help less technical people find the data they need, understand its quality, improve the quality, and then use it. There is no such solution because the preparation part is always missing. There are data catalogs that allow them to find the data. Some of them allow them to understand the data, but none of them allows them to actually improve the quality and use the data well. And there's always going to be some issue with the data. Some value will be missing, some formats will be different. It's not only about data quality issues, by the way, because maybe they want to enrich the attribute, enrich the table for additional attributes, or do some basic transformation. And unless you have an end-to-end solution that really allows them to go through all 4 steps, they will never be truly enabled, and they will always depend on help from someone more technical, and basically the efficiency would be really limited. In the version 15 of Ataccama One, we are adding completely new modules that will help users to understand the quality at scale, thanks to the data observability module. After that, we are going to show you the data lineage functionality, which, with the help of upstream and downstream analysis, makes it really easy to understand the root cause and also find out what are all the affected assets of some data quality issue. And going back to the improvement part, that's the most important one, we are adding many new features that help with the cleansing, standardization, remediation overall improving the quality of the data. So I'm going to invite my colleague Lenka now, and she's going to show you a live demo. And on multiple examples, she's going to demonstrate how Ataccama One is going to help with this end-to-end use case.
Thank you, David. So, Ataccama One data observability screen is actually the best place to start investigating your data and get some insight into your systems, see if something went wrong. For example, here on my screen, I am grouping my data sources by its purpose. I do have here a set of systems that is relevant for my HR department, or I am immediately drawn to this operational and analytical part, because here I see that my data, represented here by the boxes, are very important. That is the size of this box here. I can also see that one of the biggest boxes is here in a very dark color. That means something is happening with the data, something is not right. So let's actually take a closer look. I will navigate to this group of my source systems and see immediately that some of my 14 source systems have some problem. I'm most interested in the first one, the Snowflake data source data warehouse cloud. Why? Because in this demonstration, I am actually the owner of the system responsible for the data that the system has in. So I can see that I unfortunately do have some increase in detected issues, and there is quite a few open issues. All of this I can see on the screen was actually automatically created by Ataccama. I just connected to the system and it ran through the data profiling, it looked at the data, it detected anomalies, it evaluated data quality. As the data owner, I can be now focusing on the screen and regularly coming in and checking if everything is okay. But since I'm a little bit lazy, I can also set some notifications. So I simply say what is important for me, and if something goes wrong, I got a notification on Slack, as we can see here, or for example in Microsoft Teams. So let's start investigating what went wrong. Now I can see the detail of my data source system called Data Warehouse Cloud. Here I can see that out of my 580 tables, some of them are having some issues. I see some changes in the schema, maybe some tables appeared, maybe some tables disappeared. I do see also some problems in the data quality, and we found some anomalies directly in the data. The tool actually created a bunch of tasks for my colleagues to help to remediate the issues. Based on the characteristics of the problem, it was assigned to them with appropriate status. Me, as the owner, my job is quite easy because the tool is actually recommending automatically some actions that I should take. So let's take a look at it one by one. The first recommendation we see here is about the table STG order online. There are some data quality problems in it, and the tool is suggesting that by some changes, we can improve the data quality score by 45%. I'm curious how to do that, so let's review. All right, so now I'm on table with my orders. I see that most of the attributes like customer ID, order total, or status look pretty good. Quality 100%. But we do have some problems with shipping address, city, etc. Fortunately, Ataccama One is offering us here some help. I see here those little sparkles telling me that the tool has some recommendations for me. For example, for the address, it is suggesting a better format. Since our data quality rules do require certain form of the address, this is what would certainly help. So what I will do is to apply actually the changes. And we can move to the next attribute, city. Again, thanks to presence of reference data, we are able to get rid of some apparently typos, apparently some issues on the input, and improve the quality even further. The same with the shipping state, contact email, and contact phone. With all of this, the quality improved, I see, to 96, 99, 91%. That's great. Of course, not everything is perfect, so we still need to investigate what is the problem with the rest of the record. I can do it by myself here, or since I really don't have the time, I can actually ask one of my colleagues. So I will create a task for my colleague Jane, asking her to take a look what is wrong and hopefully improve the data. All right, my task was created. And that means that the first suggestion for the first recommendation of the tool was resolved. Now let's take a look on the second recommendation. Missing value in countries' reference data is affecting quality of our results. All right, what is happening? Now we are looking at the table Orders Affiliate, which contains record from the affiliate companies, and we see the data quality and how it was changing in the past. It was looking pretty good, but if we look on the last month and this month, we see some significant drop. And all the data quality dimensions, validity, completeness, and accuracy are not really at 100%. At the bottom of the screen, we see how the individual attributes of the data are contributing to the overall quality. And the big problem is probably with the shipping country. There are two rules applied to this attribute, and the first one, validation rule, is the one causing the problems. Almost 500,000 records is considered invalid. The tool has a recommendation for us again. It is now actually suggesting that the problem might not be in the data, but actually in the rule that we are using. Why? The data quality rule applied is actually referencing some reference data. And apparently, the reference data is missing value Montenegro, which appears in our data quite a lot. Since I'm the owner, I actually know that Montenegro is a valid country, valid option for this attribute, so I agree with the tool that we should add it to the reference data. And it is as simple as this. I now see my reference data with all the country names, and the Montenegro was already pre-populated for me. My only job is now to fill the continent and the code of the country. I can do it manually, just typing in this tabular view, or I see that the tool has another recommendation for me. Now it was able to recognize that Montenegro is actually a country based on some publicly available data and is helping me to pre-populate the table. So let's enrich the record. And we are done here. If I now actually apply my data quality rules using this new lookup, I can see that the quality is no longer dropping, but it is actually improving. And that's exactly what I need. So with that, my second recommendation is resolved. All right, so what's next? A new attribute, order export mask, that contains email has been detected. This might be a big problem for me, because our data is used by a lot of different consumers in a lot of different reports. I'm worried that personal information, PIIs, might be exposed to people that should not have access to it. So having an email might be a big problem. Let's take a look. I'm on the detail of my table with orders, and next to the usual attributes like status, ship method, the address that are properly anonymized, I see that we do have a completely new attribute called contact email. And this one, it seems it's not masked. That is worth an investigation, but again, I don't really have the time, so let's actually ask another colleague to review this, and if there's a problem and the data is not masked, to remediate this problem. So I'm creating another task, this time for a teacher, and I'm giving him quite a strict deadline. task has been created, and I can finally move to my last task, to the last recommendation that is offered by the tool. This one is again related to a data quality of specific table. This time it is a fact table with our customers. Now we can see the details of table with our customers. Similar as before, we can explore what is the overall quality and how the individual data quality dimensions are contributing to it. Unfortunately, since last month, we again see a significant drop in validity. The problem now seems to be in the attribute customer district, as we see here in the detailed preview. So let's take a look. Unfortunately, the tool is now not able to really recommend us a specific fix, but it is pointing us at least in the right direction. We should investigate the data lineage to see where the data is coming from and how it's used and how this might be related to the data quality. So let's explore data lineage. Now I actually zoomed out a little bit, and instead of seeing detail just on the one table, I see what is in its surrounding. So I can investigate that the data is actually coming from other layers, like our core system, our stage, and the true source, in this some oracle. What is important for me is now to actually investigate what is happening with the specific problematic attribute, how it is influencing the downstream consumers. So let's take a look. And I see that actually my downstream consumers are some reports used by the stakeholders, by the business users. And that is really bad news for me, because if the data is corrupted in their reports, it might throw away all the work that they do with their data analysis. I'm not able to fix everything wrong with the data right now, so my immediate action could be at least to let them know that we think something is wrong with the data, and when they are using the report, they should be really careful. To do that, I will mark the assets, the reports, as potentially corrupted. That should help everyone. Now it's time to actually take a look on the root cause of the problem. I can see that the poor quality of my record is actually already visible in the stage area, in the stage layer. Ideally, I would go there and fix the data directly there. Unfortunately, in my case, I am not the owner here. I am responsible only for the core and everything downstream. So my only course of action here is to notify the owner and ask them to actually fix the data in the staging area or potentially in the sources. I don't know how long it will take before they will be able to actually take a look at the data and fix it. So what I can do is to at least try to improve the data quality within my part of the data sets. Fortunately, Ataccama is again showing me here little sparkles, indicating that it has some really smart suggestion for me. And the suggestion is to standardize the data, specifically here the zip code, because the problem is apparently related to that. So let's do that. We are zoomed in now. So on the left side, I see the state of the data in our staging area, and on the right side in the core. The tool is suggesting me to apply some zip code standardization in between those data layers. Let's take a look. This seems right. The original data is containing not only the zip code, but also some prefixes and some special characters. So I would be happy to actually standardize the format of the data. I would like to apply one more standardization. It is nice to have the right format, but I'm still worried that I might have some well-formatted data, well-formatted zip codes, like 11111, that are still not a real zip code. So what I will do is add here one more standardization step. I can either try to ask the tool in a plain English to do some further standardization for me, or I can choose one of these specific steps, in my case, validation against reference data, to help actually resolve the problems. Now I see that one of the available reference data tables that might be relevant for this scenario is US zip codes, of course. So let's select that one and review that we will be using a specific attribute in the reference data called zip code. And if our true source data was not found in the reference data, we will just remove it. Because for the consumers, it's much better to have an empty value rather than an incorrect value. If we apply 2 steps in the transformation, we can see now that the data quality increased from 52% to 94%. And how does it actually influence the whole flow? Let's zoom out again a little bit and take a look at the downstream from our table. Now we see the quality looks good, and with that I'm quite happy and my work here is done. And in the last 15 or 20 minutes I was able to improve the data very, very significantly.
Thank you very much, Leni. It's amazing to see it in action. Let me quickly summarize what you've seen before we move to the second part. The data observability module is really helpful when you need to scale your data quality monitoring, because you can really easily set up the monitoring across all the systems and just set up the schedule and make sure that specific people will be alerted about the issues. It's a really proactive type of monitoring because the platform is detecting issues that otherwise would go unnoticed, such as detecting changes in the schemas, detecting changes in the presence of a business term, anomalies, and also data quality drops, as you've seen on the example. And also the alerting is really handy because it allows you to focus on the important issues because you can set up multiple levels of alerting in different tools and also by the different severity of the issue. I'm really excited about the new data lineage functionality. We have completely redone the UI to make it much easier to read and navigate for any user, technical or less technical. So now they have information about the data quality and business terms present, and it's really easy to operate. The upstream analysis and downstream analysis is really important to identifying the root cause in the data issue and also making sure that you find out what are all the affected assets. The third biggest innovation that we were showing you is the ability to cleanse, standardize, and enrich the data in a web application, really easy to use interface that is also enabled for the less technical users. So with a few clicks, by using the recommendations, they can cleanse the data by themselves. And if it cannot be cleansed automatically, they can also use the data remediation option for some manual cleansing that can happen when the issue just cannot be fixed automatically. We've sit down with a couple of our customers. Let's hear what they have to say about it.
Data management practices are basically transitioning from traditional way of setting up and reactive way more to a proactive way. One good example could be your data observability.
Data observability is more for any users. Can be using that. If you're technical, great. If you're not technical, great as well. The tool speaks to you in a very natural human way.
One thing with my organization is we have built a massive data catalog with all the systems that have data at T-Mobile. And if we want to do data quality on even a fraction of these, we need heavy automation. And that's why I'm really looking forward to the data observability, because that adds a lot of automation that can surface these data quality issues without us doing a lot of manual work. Because if we wanted to do manual data quality checks, we don't have the time.
You support the data lineage, which is, in my opinion, right, one of the most critical elements because you can identify the data quality issues. But anyway, without data lineage, you are not able to track, let's say, up and down and downstream the issues, right? So, and you need to make the root cause analysis. So you need the data lineage for that part, and you cover that stuff.
The main feature is recommendations for us. So anything to help us enhance our data quality. So rather than have someone in the business team defining the rules, if we've got some AI capability to help us create the rules and drive the rules, help manage the data going forward, then that's certainly something that we're interested in.
Having the automatic processes just to fix your data and all the different recommendations for me was a wow factor, I would say. I knew that AI, of course, would exist, and with the ChatGPT and all that we have right now, but for me it was the biggest part, I would say, the biggest wow factor.
Always great to hear from professionals from the industry. Thank you. So this is the end of the first part. Now we want to take a look at the prevention, so we can prevent those issues from happening. Everything you've seen so far was a reaction to some incident. So the incident had to happen first, the platform detected it, and then provided the people with tools how to address those issues. But now we want to take a look at how to prevent those issues from happening in the first place. There are two very common issues that are affecting data quality. It's the data entry, and it's also the ETL pipelines and changes within those pipelines. When you have incorrect data coming in, it's obviously going to cascade throughout the pipeline, and you would need to apply some follow-up measures to cleanse the data and improve the quality. And in the ETL pipeline, it's really easy to make a tiny change that's actually going to have a huge effect on the whole pipeline, and it can cause serious issues. So now we are going to show you how you can prevent those issues from happening. Lenny, let's take a look at it.
To prevent bad data entering our system, we can take an advantage of Ataccama 1 data quality rules. A data quality rule in Ataccama can be set by describing what it should do. In our case, if we want to measure the quality of product price, we say that we need the price to be accurate and consistent with type and potentially other attributes. To implement this logic, we say what attributes are the one relevant for us. So it is definitely the product type I mentioned and the price. Logic of the rule itself can be described either in a little bit advanced expression or in a simple terms like here, where I'm saying product type value is empty or product price value is empty, then the rule would fail. Probably I'm continuing with much more complicated logic further ahead, but let's skip this for now. So this is a data quality rule in Ataccama. This data quality rule can be utilized in data quality monitoring project to measure quality of your tables in data catalog, and now with the new version we can also expose it as an online service and actually help exactly with preventing the bad data entering the system. So we can set the rule even before the data comes close to you. To set service like this, we can take a look on the detailed configuration. Configuration of such a service is derived from the rule interface. So part of my service, the input of the service, are the two attributes that I just set. And on the right side, I see a little bit more details about what is the input and output of the service itself. Of course, if I'm interested to actually use this service in some more complex project in some code, I can, for example, take a look on how we should call it in Python. And we can actually take this snippet and directly copy it to our development environment when we are actually setting up the application. Okay, this is it. Of course, in reality, I would still need to polish a little bit how the attributes look like, how it works. But in the end, I can actually utilize this to create, for example, interface of the form where our internal people, let's say, are entering the data to the system. So now when a salesperson comes in and tries to set a price that does not correspond to the type, Ataccama service, Ataccama rule, will be called and the user will be notified. Of course, the big advantage here is that the rule still lives in Ataccama. So we can maintain it here, improve it if necessary, and we see the full history. So even if we change something in the future, it does not impact the developers of this application. They are just using the most up-to-date version of the data quality rule. Of course, a data quality firewall and application looking like this is only one of the options. We can utilize this in many other applications. We can integrate such a service into, for example, Airflow, or we can call it from Ataccama One desktop interface. It is important to know that this service can be used for the data quality validation that I just showed you for the purpose of the data quality firewall, but we can also utilize it for the data transformation, cleansing, standardization, and other processes. That makes it really, really useful. So now let's imagine I actually expose the service and the other applications are using it. In Ataccama, I can easily see how the applications are using it. So I can see a list of all the users and also all the requests. Thanks to this, I can monitor how important this service is for various consumers, how it is utilized, and if I would like to maintain it and change it in the future. So exactly what we were aiming for.
Thank you very much, Lenny. Again, amazing demonstration. I believe that all of us understand the importance of prevention. If you want to improve the state you're at, you have to focus on the future. And obviously, you cannot ignore the issues you have today, but we showed you how the data observability, lineage, and also the new cleansing functionalities can help you with that. But if you want to move forward and you want to make sure that you are not going to be fixing the same issues over and over again, you have to focus on prevention. It's an investment into your future, and it's a solution that will help you limit the number of issues that are going to pop up. It's an investment that will pay off every single time that an issue is prevented, being it a day from now, a week from now, or a month from now. Let's hear from a few data leaders and see what they have to say about this.
The definition of the rules in the online interface and then to make them available to an interface instantly after hitting the button without any big deployment processes so that you can directly use it out of the box within seconds, and also to share the examples with somebody who wants to use them. For me, it shortens the process. A business analyst, for example, can define the rules in the interface, and then a developer or somebody who's doing the reporting or who's using data or doing data migrations can directly use it.
There's a lot of Python developers out there, and you don't necessarily want to have to train them on using a specific tool. They're really great at Python and they really want data quality. So if you can allow them to write their Python code and also interface with the tool, you get the best of both worlds.
Many thanks to our customers for the amazing insights. This is what I want to take you from this presentation. Within Ataccama One platform, one unified data governance platform, your end users, even the less technical ones, have the ability to understand the quality of the data, improve the quality of the data, and you also have tools available for preventing those issues from happening, so you can really invest in your data quality discipline. In the version 15, we are releasing many features that will help you with those three areas, starting with the observability and lineage, completely new UI, upstream, downstream detection, and data observability improved for a lot of new visualizations and recommendations. And then we have this whole new, let's say, improvement package of features from cleansing, standardization, enrichment, and also the manual data remediation.
This is all very exciting, David.
Thank you very much for attending Ataccama Innovate.
Thank you.
Thanks, David and Lenka. We hope you enjoyed today's event. And if you'd like to continue the conversation, you can schedule a quick call with our team. Just click this link in the chat. We'll be sharing the recording of today's session so you can share it with your colleagues. Keep an eye out for that follow-up email, and thank you for joining. We'll see you next time.